Do not scroll, do not skip. And if the title of this message made something move in your chest, if something tightened, or something recognized, or something in you went quiet in a specific way when you read those words, then this message was not served to you by algorithm. It was placed in your path by heaven. Stay right here. Watch this alone if you can, because what Archangel Michael is about to speak over your life requires you to receive it without the presence of the very person this message is about. And you already know who that person is. Somewhere beneath every explanation you have given yourself about the relationship, somewhere beneath the loyalty you have maintained, and the benefit of the doubt you have extended, and the history you have honored, you already know. You have known for a while. And today heaven is confirming what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Do not scroll. Stay until the very end. Because the full picture of what is happening and what is coming is still being assembled in this message, and you need every part of it. There is a specific kind of pain that does not have a clean name in most conversations. The pain of being betrayed by someone you called sister, not a stranger, not an enemy you could see coming. Someone you invited into the interior of your life. Someone you celebrated. Someone you defended when others questioned them. Someone you gave access to the real you, the unedited you, the version of yourself that you do not show to the world, but that you shared with her, because you believed the relationship was safe enough to hold it. And somewhere in the receiving of all of that access, something shifted in her. Or perhaps it was always there, and the intimacy of what you shared simply made it more visible. A competition that was never supposed to exist between you. A comparison that she was running quietly, while you were simply being present. A resentment that built in the spaces between your wins and her waiting. An interest in your life that went beyond affection and into something that monitored and measured and calculated. You felt it before you had evidence of it. The way certain conversations left you feeling slightly smaller than when they began. The way your good news was received with a smile that did not quite reach the eyes. The way she asked questions about your life that felt like they were gathering information rather than expressing genuine interest. The way she seemed to know things about your private situations that you had not told her directly. The way her advice, when you followed it, seemed to consistently move you towards smaller outcomes than you would have arrived at on your own. You noticed all of this, and then you talked yourself out of what you noticed. Because she is your sister. Because the history is real. Because calling it what it is would require a confrontation with a loss that you are not sure you are ready for. Because maybe you are reading too much into things. Maybe you are being unfair. Maybe the problem is something in you that is being suspicious of someone who genuinely loves you. Archangel Michael says stop explaining it away. Stay right here. What heaven is about to confirm is going to be painful, and it is going to be freeing, and both of those things are going to be true at the same time. You need to understand something about fake sisters that is different from other kinds of betrayal, because the betrayal of someone who was never close to you is painful, but it is navigable. You had limited exposure, limited history, limited emotional investment. The damage is real, but it is contained. But a fake sister is different because the betrayal is structural. It is built into the foundation of a relationship that you organized a significant portion of your emotional life around. The conversations you had, the secrets you shared, the vulnerability you extended, the places you took her in your life that you did not take others. All of that now has to be reprocessed through a different understanding of what she was actually doing with it. And that reprocessing is one of the most disorienting spiritual and emotional experiences a person can go through. But here is what heaven needs you to know before we go deeper. The pain of this revelation does not mean you were foolish for trusting. It does not mean your instinct for connection and loyalty and genuine relationship is a liability. It does not mean the love you gave was wasted because it was given to someone who did not honor it properly. The love you gave was real. The investment you made was genuine. And genuine things do not disappear into the people who receive them without deserving them. They return. Heaven makes sure of that. Every real thing you gave to someone who should not have had it is being returned to you in this season, with interest, through connections that are actually capable of receiving and reciprocating what you carry. Do not scroll. Archangel Michael says, do not skip this part. Stay right here. because the specific signs that confirm what your spirit already knows are still coming. Let me tell you about the signs, not to build a case that you then have to carry as evidence to a confrontation, but because your spirit needs the clarity of having what it has been perceiving confirmed by a voice from outside the confusion of the relationship. You have been second-guessing your own perception for too long, and the second-guessing has been exhausting, and it has been doing damage to your confidence in your own ability to read situations and people. And that damage to your discernment is one of the specific things that the fake sister relationship was designed to produce, because a person who does not trust their own perception is easier to manage, easier to keep confused, easier to keep inside a dynamic that serves her at your expense. So the signs. The first sign is that she celebrates your failures more genuinely than your successes. Not obviously, she is too skilled for obvious. She expresses the right words when something good happens in your life, but there is a quality in her response to your good news that is slightly off, slightly compressed, like the celebration is being performed rather than felt, like some part of her is managing the fact that what happened to you should have happened to her. And when something goes wrong in your life, when you are struggling or discouraged or facing a setback, there is something in her that loosens, a warmth that is more genuine in those moments than in the moments of your victory. She is more present when you are down, more available, more invested in the conversation, and you have noticed this without fully naming it, because naming it would require acknowledging something about her that you have not been ready to acknowledge. The second sign is that she knows things she should not know. Information about your private life that circulates in spaces you cannot fully trace back to its source. Situations where people know details about your circumstances that you only shared with a small number of people, and she was one of them. Moments where you sense that your story has been in someone else's mouth, but you cannot confirm it because the transmission was careful. She does not gossip loudly. She is strategic about it. She shares your information in ways that are framed as concern, or as prayer requests, or as seeking advice on your behalf. Ways that allow her to distribute what you shared in confidence, while maintaining the appearance of someone who is on your side. The third sign is that her advice consistently serves her interests more than yours. This one is subtle, and it is important. When you come to her with a decision you are facing, her counsel has a pattern that when you look at it across the full span of the relationship, points in a direction that keeps you smaller, less visible, less confident, less likely to step into the things that would elevate you beyond the level where she can feel comfortable with you. She frames this advice as caution, or as wisdom, or as the perspective of someone who loves you enough to tell you the hard truth. But the hard truth she tells you always seems to involve you doing less, trusting less, reaching less, risking less. And the beneficiary of you doing less and trusting less and reaching less has consistently been her position relative to yours. Do not scroll, do not skip. To show heaven that you receive what is being spoken over your life right now, go to the comments and type "God is revealing my circle." Let that declaration open the door to the discernment that is being released over you in this season. Do it now and then stay with me, because the most important part of this message is still coming. Now I want to talk about why this relationship exists and why it has been allowed to continue as long as it has. Because nothing in your life is without purpose, not even the painful things, and understanding the purpose of this particular painful thing is going to change how you move through the ending of it. God allowed this relationship in your life for a season because it was building something in you that nothing else could build with the same efficiency. The experience of navigating a fake sister, of maintaining yourself in a relationship that was simultaneously intimate and subtly hostile, required you to develop a specific kind of discernment, a sensitivity to the gap between what people perform and what they actually are, an ability to hold your own counsel in a space where your counsel was being quietly undermined, a capacity to continue to love genuinely in a context where the love was not being returned genuinely. These are not small things. These are specific spiritual muscles that the next season of your life and the next level of your assignment are going to require you to have. You could not have developed them in a relationship that was entirely safe. Safety builds certain things, but it does not build the specific kind of discernment that comes from navigating complexity with your heart still open. You needed the complexity. You needed to learn how to hold your truth even when someone close to you was consistently offering a smaller version of it back to you. You needed to develop the kind of rootedness in your own knowing that can withstand the subtle erosion of someone who has intimate access to your self-doubt. You developed all of it. Not perfectly, not without cost, but you developed it. And the person who has been navigating this relationship with their integrity intact and their capacity for genuine love undiminished is a person who is ready for what is coming. Ready for the relationships that are actually aligned with where you are going. Ready to recognize the real ones when they arrive because you have become so intimately acquainted with the counterfeit. Ready to receive genuine sisterhood with a depth of gratitude and a quality of presence that only comes from knowing what it is like to live without it for a significant season. The relationship served its purpose, and now heaven is revealing it for what it is, so that you can make the decisions that the new season requires. I want to be specific about what revealing looks like in this context. Because Archangel Michael says there are things coming that are going to make what you have already sensed impossible to continue to deny. Not because you will be handed dramatic evidence in a confrontation you did not ask for, but because the patterns that have been subtle are going to become clearer. The gap between her public presentation of your relationship and what actually happens in it is going to widen in ways that others begin to notice. The fruit of what she has been doing with what you shared is going to become visible in ways that cannot be explained away, and in that visibility you are going to face a choice. Not the choice of whether to end the relationship, though that decision may come, but the more fundamental choice of whether to trust what you see, whether to honor the perception that your own spirit has been trying to offer you for this entire season, whether to stop explaining away what is clear in favor of a loyalty to a history that she has not been honoring with the same loyalty. Heaven is asking you to trust yourself, to trust the discernment that has been building in you through every moment of this relationship, to trust the knowing that preceded the evidence, to trust that the God who is revealing this is revealing it because the season of it has ended and the season of what comes after it is beginning. Do not scroll. Stay right here. The word about what the next season holds is the most important part of what is being released over your life today, because this message is not only about what is being removed, it is about what is coming in its place. And what is coming in the place of this relationship is something so different in its quality and its genuineness that you are going to need the full picture of it to understand why heaven needed to clear the space first. Real sisterhood is coming. Not a replacement version of what you had, something categorically different. Relationships with women who are genuinely for you, who celebrate your wins with a happiness that is completely clean, who hold your secrets like they are sacred, who give you counsel that is actually aimed at your flourishing and not at their comfort, who are made larger by your growth and not threatened by it, who want you visible and elevated and fully expressed because they understand that your rising does not diminish them. Women who know who they are well enough that your gifts do not read as a competition but as a complement. These women exist. They are being moved toward you in this season. The clearing that is happening in your relational landscape is not a loss. It is preparation. Heaven is making room for what was always meant to be in your life but could not coexist with what was occupying the space. You are going to know them when they arrive because the quality of what it feels like to be in their presence is going to be unmistakable after the season you have just been through. Safe. Genuinely, completely safe. The kind of safety that does not require you to manage what you share, or calibrate your wins, or soften your full self to keep the relationship comfortable. The kind of safety that comes from being with people who are rooted enough in their own identity that they do not need you to be smaller so they can feel larger. That is coming. That is being assembled. That is already in motion in the invisible realm and is going to begin arriving in your visible life in ways that are going to feel like exhaling after a very long time of holding your breath. There is also something else that is coming as a direct consequence of this revelation and this release. A restoration of your confidence in your own perception. One of the most significant damages that a fake sister relationship does is to the discernment of the person being deceived, because the intimacy of the access makes the deception feel impossible, and feeling it while simultaneously being told by the relationship itself that what you are feeling is not real erodes something in your confidence in your own inner voice. You start to distrust the very instrument that was accurately reading the situation all along. In this new season, that instrument is being recalibrated, healed, restored to the sensitivity it had before the relationship began its quiet work of convincing you that what you perceived was wrong. Your intuition is one of your most significant spiritual gifts. It is the internal voice of the discernment that God placed in you, and it was telling you the truth about this relationship from early on. And as you honor what it has been saying, as you make the decisions that align with the perception it has been offering, the trust between you and your own inner voice is going to rebuild in a way that makes every future relationship safer. Not because you will become closed or suspicious, but because you will trust yourself again. And a person who trusts their own perception is so much harder to deceive. Share this message with someone who needs to watch it alone. Someone who is in a relationship with a woman they call sister, and who has been feeling something they have not been able to fully name. Someone who needs the permission that comes from hearing heaven confirm what their own spirit has been whispering. Someone who is ready to receive the real thing, but needs to first release what is counterfeit. When you carry this word for others, Archangel Michael carries your breakthrough forward. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss another message prepared for your season. Heaven is speaking with specificity in this time, and you want to be in position to receive every word that carries your name. My beloved child, you watched this alone, or you found a way to receive it in the privacy that it required, and in receiving it you did something important. You chose to honor what your spirit has been saying over the loyalty to a version of a relationship that has not been what it appeared to be. That choice is not disloyalty, it is discernment. It is the exercise of exactly the muscle that God has been building in you through this entire season. And exercising it, making the decision to see clearly even when seeing clearly is painful, is the first act of the new season that is beginning in your life. The fake sister that has been in your circle was revealed by God and not by accident. She was revealed at this specific time because the assignment she was interfering with is about to enter a phase that requires you to be surrounded only by people who are genuinely for you. The next level of what God is building in your life is too significant and too targeted to be navigated with someone close to you who is working against it from the inside. The revelation was an act of protection, a clearing of the path before the walk begins. You are about to walk into something that requires your whole heart, your full confidence, your undivided attention on where you are going, and not on managing the dynamics of a relationship that was never what it claimed to be. You are about to step into connections that are going to feed rather than drain you, into a circle that is going to be smaller and realer, and so much more powerful in its alignment with your actual assignment. The fake is being removed, the real is being released, and the God who saw the whole picture from the beginning is the same God who is now moving in your life with the specific precision that the new season requires. You already knew, you have known for a while, and now heaven has confirmed it. Trust what you know, move accordingly, and receive with your whole heart what is coming to fill the space that is being cleared. The new season is here, and in it you will know what real sisterhood actually feels like, and it will be worth every painful moment of what came before it.